Welcome, everybody. Thank you for logging in. Thank you for viewing the webinar this week. I appreciate it. Anybody that was here last week also, thanks for coming back. This is my weekly update, my weekly webinar on Tampa Bay real estate. I'm going to just give you some information throughout it, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. You can always ask questions in the chat. You can also text them to me. I've got my number up on the screen. And of course, throughout the week, text me, send me emails. I'll answer any questions that you've got. Try and either do them in person or on the live stream here when we get a chance. But yeah, love the opportunity to be here and talk to you, give you any information that I can give you. It's going to be anything and everything about real estate, the Tampa Bay real estate market, St. Pete in particular. So I'm going to give people just a minute to get logged in here. I know we have some coming. Appreciate everyone very much for being here. One of the things that I get asked often, and I was asked in particular earlier today to address this during this live stream, is now a good time to buy a house in Tampa Bay? And personally, I think it is a great time to buy. You've got a more balanced market than you've had in a really long time. Prices have come down in most markets around the country, but specifically here in the St. Pete and Tampa Bay area, prices have come down in most neighborhoods, since like 2021, 2022, during the peak of the COVID pricing. So if you're looking to buy something now, pricing hasn't been better in years. And if you've got a particular house that you're in love with that's on the market and it's maybe priced higher than you think it should be, sellers are negotiable right now. The thing at the moment is that inventory's increased. You have more options. There's less urgency. So now's a great time to be looking, trying to find a house that you really love and make an offer on it. If you've got a house that you think normally is out of reach, it might be worth putting an offer on paper and sending it in and seeing. I've got a couple of great examples of it. If you're looking for vacant land, this is the best one I've had recently. I had a client just yesterday that closed on some vacant land in Zephyr Hills, which is up northeast of Tampa. It's a lot that's got zoning that allows him to do pretty much anything with it. He's going to build a 3,500 square foot office building on it, but it could be a residential lot. So he went in, we made a nice low offer. The seller said no. We made another low offer about a week later for just slightly above what we initially offered, and the seller accepted. And we closed on it in a couple of weeks. We got 48% off of the original list price. So that property had been sitting there. The seller hadn't been reducing the price. The lot was available. And my buyer looked at it, said, I can't afford to pay what he's asking. Let's see if we can make a deal. So we submitted the offer, honestly, not really hoping that we'd have a positive response. But he came back and, like I said, we paid 48% less for it than the original list price. So I'm super excited for my buyer. He's going to put that lot to good use. He's going to build a great building on it. The city's going to have a vacant lot that's going to go away. It's just been sitting there unused and overgrown for years. So now he's going to have a nice new office building there. His business will grow. I'm really excited for him. On the residential real estate side, we're seeing great opportunities all over town. I have a client that buys and sells a lot of property with me, buys houses, renovates them, and then resells. We've got a current deal that was initially on the market for $515,000, and after only a week on the market, they accepted a price of $377,500, which is right around 40% of what the property is actually worth. Excuse me. Super excited for him. The seller was in a position where they absolutely had to sell. They needed to sell quickly. The house needed a lot of renovation, a lot of work. It wasn't going to sell on the open market for anywhere near what they were hoping to get for it. My buyer came in, made them a great offer. Now he's going to go in, fix the house up, renovate it, and then resell it. And somebody will get a beautiful new home for their family, and I think it's a great opportunity to look at some of the times that flippers can bring value to a neighborhood. And in this case, he's an investor that does his flips really well. And so we make sure I'm not going to represent him if he's bringing something to market that's in poor condition or is cut corners. they haven't done the major work that needs to be done, like making sure the roof and the air conditioning are in good condition, making sure the electrical's done, making sure that all the little boxes are checked. We don't want to sell someone a headache. I always say I don't always sell dreams, but I make sure I don't sell nightmares. So that's something that I like to stick to, is I never want to sell someone somebody else's problems unless they're very aware of it and they're getting the right discount for it. So, um, so yeah, those are just a couple examples. There's a lot of people right now that are making offers on houses that are getting great deals. I will say though, there's two categories of property where you're really not seeing big discounts off the asking price, and that is where a house comes to market that's been beautifully renovated. It's super well updated. There's nothing else for a buyer to do to the place to move in, except for to move in and enjoy the house. And it comes to the market priced well. Those are selling immediately. I have a listing this week. My client renovated it, did every possible little thing that they could to the house, made it look absolutely gorgeous. Here, I'll pull it up for you. Let's see. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull it up. It's, in my opinion, one of the nicest interiors that this house could possibly have. Did a lot of renovation here. I helped buyers make some choices, and I really like how it turned out. I'm going to share the screen. Okay, let's see, give you a little better. There we go. So this is the house, pretty basic 1956 ranch. From the outside, this is in West Tampa. This is 2530 West Diana Street. It's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,600 square foot home on a little over a quarter acre. It's a nice neighborhood. And you can see, did great renovations in this house, made sure that it looked beautiful. And then I brought in a professional staging company. It's Andrea with Staged Right is who I use. Consistently use them on my listings, and they consistently make them look great, and they sell very quickly, in large part because of the staging. So this property, the renovation, like I said, was extensive, and it was beautiful. You'll see it as we go through. Try not to miss any details. Put in new lighting throughout, new beautiful ceiling fans, really nice luxury vinyl plank flooring. It's a great window going out front. It's got new windows in the house. Look at that fireplace. It's beautiful. It's functional. You can see we tried not to miss anything here. So really nice kitchen. It's an eating kitchen. All custom cabinets. Nice hardware. As long as you do the renovation well and you pay attention to detail, these houses sell quickly. You can see that kitchen window is a pass-through out to the deck that we built. I'm going to click through a few more of these just so you can see what it looks like. That's a great sunroom that we made sure looked beautiful. This is the primary. Primary bathroom is huge, and we tried to go very high end. It's got custom vanity. It's got a huge, massive LED lit mirror, double vanity, and a huge linen closet that I didn't show a picture of, but this is the 3rd bedroom or office. It's a great room. Goes right out to the deck. This is the guest bedroom with some staging. The guest bath in the hallway. Again, a custom vanity, LED backlit mirror. Here's the deck. So this is one of the houses that I've really enjoyed seeing change, because this was in really horrible condition when it was purchased. The bones of the house were good. The floors were good. The roof was fairly new. The air conditioning was fairly new. But the house needed everything cosmetically. And the backyard was a disaster. So we cleaned that up. We put in a nice new deck. It had these weird overhangs that were built illegally. Had that done. It had some issues with some curb appeal because the next door neighbor had a really old, about 30-foot long boat sitting on a broken trailer that had been sitting there for years, and everyone in the neighborhood complained about. Luckily, we were able to get that moved. I actually was able to give it away on Facebook Marketplace for the owner. He just wanted it out of there. So after some hundreds of messages with people, finally found somebody that was able to pick it up, and they took the boat away. And now you've got a nice beautifully renovated home in a really nice neighborhood. Nice car, one car garage. Yeah, you can see it's just a nice house. Well done. But the point of showing you this is to let you know that homes that are priced appropriately are selling quickly, and homes that are redone and done well. So this house, for example, like I said, is put on the market at 475,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,600 square feet. Incredibly well done renovation. It's been up on the market for under a week. It actually went under contract within about 2 days of going on the market. Unfortunately, the buyer had cold feet about 6 hours after that because they realized that it was on a crawl space, and for some reason they didn't want to own a home with a crawl space, so those backed out. But immediately the next day we got another contract, got an over full price offer for the house. It's under contract now. I'm excited to see it close later this month. So this is just another good example of how the Tampa and St. Pete market, they're not dead. If you've got a nice house that's well done and it's priced appropriately, the houses are selling, and they're selling well. So if you've got a house that you need to sell, I'd love to take a look at it, tell you what needs to be done to get it to sell. If you've got one that's been sitting on the market, talk to your agent, ask them for help. They'll give it to you. If you've got a house that was in the market for a long time, sat, didn't sell, it's expired or canceled now, and you want a second opinion, I'd love to give it to you. I'll bring the staging company that I work with. I'll bring one of them by. They'll give you their thoughts on what needs to change, because I'm no designer. I'm just the person that's going to sell it. But they're going to come in and they're going to give you ideas for how to make things a little different, make things look nice, and sell. So, hey, thanks for watching. Got some people watching now, and I really appreciate that. I'm here to answer any questions that you've got. Feel free to send them. You've got my phone number there on the screen. Just text me, and I'll answer your message or send them in the chat on the live stream. Okay. So that's the listing that I wanted to talk to you about. I'm trying to answer some more questions for you. I had a question last week at the end of my live stream that I didn't see, so I'm going to try and answer it now. People want to know what's going on with the condo market in downtown St. Pete, and it's a really good question because there's a lot happening. I'm sharing my screen still, so let's jump onto there, and we'll kind of go look at the condo market in downtown St. Pete. Super different market than one we were just looking at. Let me reset my filters. There we go. So we're going downtown. Okay. So let's look here first. This is 100 Beach Drive. Let's just look at this. So this is a high-end condo in downtown St. Pete. This is what's coming to St. Petersburg. More and more like this. We've got the Waldorf Astoria building that's, I believe, almost sold out, if not sold out already. The penthouse in that unit, I believe, sold for $27 million. You've got the Roche Bobois building that's coming in the next few months. That's pre-construction. It's already sold out 30 or 40% of the building. Pricing in there starts around $700,000 for a studio, $775,000, something like that. Goes up into the many millions for the penthouses. And the units are selling very quickly. It's a designer building. It's got tons of luxury amenities. It's got a beautiful cantilevered hot tub, a massive pool, a deck for a fire pit, and cabanas. It's got everything you could want. So if you're looking for luxury in downtown St. Pete, it's here and it's coming. More of it's coming. If you're looking for, a cheap condo in downtown St. Pete, they don't exist anymore, unfortunately. The only ones that do are in buildings that are struggling, excuse me, because of the inspection requirements that have been issued. So if you're familiar, there was a condo that collapsed on the East Coast a few years back. After that, the state implemented some new regulations regarding condos, and the inspections that they need to have done, the not just the inspections, but the reports that have to be issued and provided to buyers. So they've got milestone inspections that have to occur to make sure that the building is safe, to make sure that the building has reserves done for reserves to do maintenance, make sure that they're keeping up on maintenance. And so you've got these buildings that are, for the first time in a long time, having to do extensive inspections for safety. And what's happening is these older condos, these 40, 50-year-old condos that have potentially been neglected in some cases, but even in some cases well maintained, they're seeing that a 40, 50-year-old building, even made of concrete, needs significant maintenance in Florida, especially these massive units near the water. So Bayfront Towers is a good example of that. We've seen listings in this community in Bayfront Towers where the prices on these units would, if the condo building was in great condition and didn't require significant repair, those prices would be million plus easily. There was a unit just recently that was foreclosed on. It was an FHA foreclosure, it looks like. The unit, if memory serves, was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was somewhere near 2,000 square feet. You could see the water from one of the balconies at least. And that price kept dropping down into the $350,000 range, somewhere around there, maybe even lower. And honestly, I'm not sure if it actually is sold yet or not. And the reason for that, one, it needed extensive remodeling in the unit. But the big reason was that the condo building itself needed repair. And so there was a special assessment somewhere in the couple $100,000 range that if you bought that unit, you'd be responsible for paying that special assessment off when you closed. So not only would you have to pay for the unit, you have to pay this, $200,000 to $300,000 special assessment. And from what I've been told from other people, and please don't hold me to this because I'm not currently personally aware, but I've heard that there's additional special assessments that could be coming to that building and many others, right? Any of the older condo buildings, you need to do your due diligence. Like I said, I don't really know anything about what's coming at the Bayfront Towers building. It's just a rumor that I heard, and I shouldn't be spreading a rumor, but I've not personally looked, so I have no idea. Don't believe anything I just said. But these condos that are older condos that are having milestone inspections done and they're being flagged for issues in maintenance, you need to make sure of what you're getting into. If you own, or if you go to buy one of these units and you don't take into account that in the next couple of years you might have a few $100,000 in repairs needed to the building for your portion of the repairs, what are you going to do? Some of them will be able to offer financing, some won't. There's going to be options for you to go out and get financing, I'm sure, in some cases, but others won't be. And if you get a building that can't pass the milestone inspection and then can't do the repairs, well, now you're in a whole nother can of worms. You're definitely not going to be able to sell that building or that property. The state might come in and say, hey, these repairs have to be done or it's unsafe. You could have a lot of issues, and it's something to be really cognizant of if you're looking at the condos. And so the reason I'm talking about it now is because that's what we've had. But in the last 10 years or so, there's been a huge renaissance of building of condos in downtown St. Pete that are massive. They're high end, they're luxury. A lot of them have designer influences, and they're beautiful. And those condos are getting more and more expensive, and for good reason. They're in the heart of a walkable downtown, which has some of the best waterfront of any city in the country, if not the world. You've got the pier downtown. You have beautiful waterfront parks. It's just a terrific, really great location. So if you can buy a building or buy a unit in one of the nice new buildings down there, you've got a great home, a great second home. You've got a great rental asset in a lot of cases. These are really terrific condos. So they're doing very well because of that. Now I want to show you a new listing, a new building, excuse me. Let me show you one other here. It's called the Roche Boubois condo tower. This is a brand new building. It's actually pre-construction. It's being sold right now. I mentioned it earlier. I believe it's 35% sold out. It's called the Roche-Beaubois Paris St. Pete Tower. So let's just scroll down here and show you. So it takes its inspiration, obviously, from Roche-Beaubois. And this is just some images that show what will be here in downtown St. Pete. Really striking, beautiful, beautiful building. You take a look here, you'll see this is going to be a great entrance. Really amazing outdoor living on almost all of the units, if not all. You'll have a wonderful, wonderful pool level. There's going to be multiple levels of amenities, really high end. It's a 29-story structure. There's 164 residences, everything from studios to 3 bedrooms. There's there's penthouses. They're going to have huge soaring ceilings. They're calling it artful design. Let's see. Let's look at some of the residences. So you have 11-foot ceilings in all the units, in some 13. Look at the views out here. I mean, these are obviously artist renderings, but this is the outdoor living space that you're going to have. This is a fantastic entrance too. If you're walking in downtown St. Pete and you walk by this building, you're going to stop and look. It's going to be stunning. So buildings are going to have, obviously, like we said, huge high ceilings, great layouts. You're going to have details refined beyond anything else in St. Pete. Designer kitchens with luxury appliances. You're going to have premium tile flooring, custom crafted vanities. You'll have the opportunity to make decisions on what goes into these units. They'll have amazing furniture packages that'll turn the residences into beautiful living space. There's smart home upgrade packages available. Every residence, they're saying, becomes your personal campus, and I totally agree with that. The building's going to offer a 24/7 concierge. They'll provide personalized assistance, seamless access, 24/7 security, high-speed internet, and connectivity for all your needs. They've got on-site parking with electric fuel charging stations. They've got on-site dining. They're going to bring in world-class cuisine to the restaurants in the building. There's dedicated storage, including cold storage for your special deliveries. They'll have a package management service at the front desk. So everything you could ever want is in this building. Let's take a look at the upper floor. You can have this beautiful penthouse here. Let's see if you can see this. You see you've got an amazing terrace on 2 sides. You have 4 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, big living and dining and kitchen area, a 43-foot long terrace. It's just going to be fantastic. Penthouse 1 is already sold, I believe, on the 29th floor. Let's see, I've got a question here. Okay. All right, we're going to back out of the Roche-Beaubois. Come back to answering some questions for you because I've got one. Let's see. Stop. There we go. Okay. Where are investors buying in St. Pete? That's a really good question. So you have different types of investors. In my mind, the most traditional real estate investor, long-term buy and hold. That's a challenging investor to be in any market here in Florida, but in St. Pete and Tampa especially. Our rents have increased in the last 10 years, and especially the last couple of years, but they're sort of ebbing and flowing a little bit right now. You've got a bit of a slowdown in rental appreciation, perhaps even a drawdown. And so rental prices are a little lower than they were a year or two ago, in part because of the change in demand to the hurricane season that we had in 2024, leaving a lot of people looking for rentals. Also, we had a net migration out of Pinellas County. So rent's down right now. So if you're a buy and hold investor, you need to be finding really great deals. And the place that most people are finding those deals where they can get the most rent is certain areas in primarily in the south of St. Pete, like Childs Park. You can buy homes that are priced low enough that you can then rent them out, especially using Section 8 rentals. That's government supported rent. And those are potentially good opportunities where you can actually cash flow positive. But it's difficult to buy homes in St. Pete and cash flow positive if you have a mortgage. And especially if you buy something in a flood zone and you have flood insurance in addition to homeowners insurance and your mortgage and your property taxes, it's tough to do. So our big investors here, big chunk of them are flippers. And flippers will buy anything anywhere where the numbers work. So you've seen people that made decisions after the 2024 hurricanes to jump into some of the markets like Shore Acres and the beaches. And Shore Acres in particular is what I'm thinking of, is a market where flippers went in. They bought based on the values before the storm, and they thought they were buying at a great price. They bought a damaged home. They remediated it. They renovated it. They repaired it, put it back up on the market, trying to sell it for what it would have sold for in early September 2024, before Helene and Milton hit. And they're getting burned because those houses aren't selling. There's been a real reduction in demand for existing inventory, existing homes in the really badly hit flood zones like Shore Acres, especially in Shore Acres where you had years of multiple repeat flooding, where some of the homes flooded 4 or 5 times in the last 5 years. Those houses, if you bought one and you've renovated and you're trying to flip it, they're not selling. Or you're going to have to reduce the price down significantly to give somebody a reason to buy that house. It might be a beautiful house. It may never flood again, but they know what the history is, and people are afraid of that. The fact that we didn't have a hurricane come through in 2025 was very helpful. That's sent a little bit of a boost to those numbers, and it's given people an opportunity to get out of those houses now. But if you were a flipper that was buying in 2024, early 2025, hoping to resell for pre-storm values, you're in trouble, especially if you got a short-term investor loan and you need to sell it now. You need to sell quickly. You're going to have to reduce your prices, and you're going to have to probably take a loss. You're seeing it with quite a few homes that were flipped in that area. Some of the people that bought them are already in pre-foreclosure. I've actually seen some sell at pre-foreclosure already. I'm sure some are going to foreclosure, which will also just bring the market down for that little sub-market. Shore Acres is a very different place. What's booming in Shore Acres is the building of new flood-resistant, hurricane-resistant homes that are up to the current code. So they're going to be elevated. They're not going to be at sea level. They're not going to be at 1 feet, above sea level. They're going to be built 10, 13 feet up, depending on the code and where you are and what you're building. But so if you've got a lot in St. Pete, or if you have a flood damaged home that you're willing to sell for land value, builders will snatch it up and buy it. I have a listing there right now, 1722 Bayou Grand. The owner has a double lot on a corner that can be subdivided into 2 separate lots, and we have it up on the market for land value because the home that she owned on that property flooded multiple times in the last few years. And after Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton came through, she didn't feel comfortable rebuilding it. So we're trying to sell that. So a builder will buy it, divide that into 2 lots, build $2 million plus homes on it, probably multi-million-dollar homes. And that's what's changing in these neighborhoods. Places like Shore Acres are becoming very high-end homes. They will become markets with very high-end homes. You're seeing the waterfront lots in that neighborhood change. None of the ranch houses that are there now are going to exist very long. If they're not going to be bought out and knocked down and rebuilt with a new elevated structure right now, the next time there's flooding and hurricane damage, I think they will. So if you're buying an existing home, if you're buying a ranch style home, something that's not elevated in that community, you just need to keep that in mind, that at some point your home is likely going to be worth just the land value. Now, that land value will increase as these multi-million-dollar homes keep getting built, and as there's more demand for these beautiful big new homes, people will pay more and more for your land. So if you can hold on to your property, it might be a great idea. But at the same time, if we get more hurricanes next year, your property value could drop again. So it's a risk. It's a challenging market to own property, and it's a challenging market to buy and sell in, because you're definitely taking a little bit of a gamble. The people that really aren't are the people that are building new builds, because those houses are going to be safe from flooding. They're going to be in a neighborhood where the vast majority of people are at least seeing offers on their existing homes to buy them, knock them down, and turn them into new builds. And a lot of people are accepting. So, anyways, I hope that's a little bit helpful. The place where you're seeing more traditional flips, there's a lot of competition for traditional flips in non-flood zones. So investors are going in my opinion, often overpaying for properties that need renovation, to the point where I think a lot of them are spending more than they should to purchase the house. And then in order to try and make a profit, they're having to overprice the home to sell it. So that's why you're seeing these houses sit. With flipping especially, and with real estate in general, the old adage is the money's made on the buy. You can't make it any other time. You have to buy it right. So, but if you're an investor or you're a flipper that has construction crews that work directly under you, you need to keep your people busy. So you need to constantly be churning and finding new homes. So if you have to overpay on one just to keep people busy, it sometimes makes sense to. So if you've got a home that needs repair, needs significant work, and you want to sell it, putting it on the market may not be the right move, but putting it out to investors, because for some reason investors love off-market properties. If you put it on the MLS, they won't want to buy it to flip it. But if you approach them with the same house at the same price, not on the market, you get a feeding frenzy. And the real reason is because they don't want people to know what they paid for it until it's public record. And so that way, if they buy it from you at a certain price, they might be able to flip it even before they invest in it and put any money into it. They might be able to flip it during the construction process. But their goal is to do it quickly enough, buy it, renovate it, and flip it, so that there's not a huge amount of information out there about their purchase a lot of times. And that's, maybe a negative view of some of the people that are in this business. I believe that transparency is the biggest thing going for anyone in this business. So if you work in real estate or if you're an investor, just be honest about your intentions and be honest about what you paid, about what you're willing to take, and deals get done. If you hide, that's where problems come. So there's another type of investor, somebody that's more of a developer in a lot of cases. And that is a booming market right now. And it has been for quite a while in St. Pete. People building spec homes, single family homes, but also townhomes, condo buildings, ADUs. The zoning changes that have been happening in St. Pete in the last couple of years, especially around the Central Avenue and First Avenue South and North corridors, that's opened up a ton of opportunity for people. So you see big new developments happening along there. There's some great new townhomes that were just built. Let's actually see if we can find those for you to take a look at. I'm going to pull one up here. Not that one, but these are some nice new buildings. Not these. I think it's this one right here. I could be wrong, folks. Give me just a second. No, these are older. That is these. So these new units are on the market. So you're in Grand Central here. Let me share this with you. Okay. There's some beautiful new townhomes in Grand Central. They're priced at around $900,000 up to $1 million plus. Just click through and show you what they're building. They're really stunning. You see, this is an office, a first floor office, but it's also got a kitchenette here. Upstairs, living space. Custom everything. No builder grade. Everything is custom. Everything's nice. Everything's beautiful. These are really high-end homes. and they're a really, really nice location. You've got fast access to everything. You're on First Avenue North. You can walk down to Central really quickly. You're a block or two away from Cappy's Pizza. 1 block from my therapist's office. It's a really great location. So just wanted to show you some of these photos. This is a community that I think is not getting enough attention. So it's 2 miles from downtown, from Beach Drive, a little over that, 2.3 miles, it says. You've got big 9-foot ceilings, smart home technology. You have guest suites with private entrances and kitchenettes. These are hardened for storms. They're all concrete block construction, none of the concrete first floor frame, second and third. You've got private 2-car garages, big covered balconies and porches. It's really, really nice homes. And like I said, they start around 900,000, a little under 879. These are 2,100 square foot homes. They're 3-bedroom, 4-bath. They go up to a little over $1 million. So let's show you this house. It's got they're calling it a versatile loft space, worth looking at. So I think these kitchens are beautiful. There's a real trend towards these white countertops and this gold hardware. Look at these lights. These are great pendant lights. Right down the street from Casita Taqueria. We've got a nice balcony. You can barbecue. Covered porches in front. Construction's happening. Yeah, what a nice bedroom. And this bathroom's beautiful. Big soaking tub. Tons of living space. In-unit laundry. So these are the type of developments that are happening in St. Pete. A little further west, once you get into like the 5800 block, between 5800 and 66th Street, there's a couple new townhome projects being built. There's one that's currently available, I believe, right on Central. Units there are around 700,000, so the prices are a little less the further west you get, until you get down towards the beach. Yeah, just great houses. I do have a couple of properties available that are off market, that if you have any interest in doing some development, you should give me a call, because I've got properties available that are not listed anywhere. The prices are really excellent. And in a couple cases, they've got plans already available, permit-ready plans ready to be submitted. Some great opportunities to build. I'd love to help you with the development. Got some experience with that and would love to do it again. Down on the beaches, I have a couple of off-market properties available. A waterfront house that needs a complete renovation. It had no damage to the interior except for on the patio and in the garage during the storms. No flooding inside the main house. It's just been rented for 20, 25 years and it needs updating, but it's certainly move-in ready as is. It just could use some work. That's priced at $1.4 million. It's a waterfront house with a really great deep water dock. It's directly across the street from the beach. Got an off-market cottage in Paso Grill. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which hard to find there, a true 3-2. In addition to that, it's got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath mother-in-law suite as an ADU on the back of the property. So it's a bigger property than you find almost anywhere in Paso Grill. It's priced at $1.6 million, which is truly a great price for a Paso Grill house. If that's something that you're looking at, you want to be down by the beach, those are 2 really nice off-market properties. I have an off-market triplex on St. Pete Beach for $900,000. Generates consistent income, but it can easily be converted back to a single-family home, and it would be a really nice single-family home if it was redone. I've got another that's coming up at the end of April. It's a stunning house in Bella Vista on St. Pete Beach. It's over 2,000 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with an office. It also has a theater inside. It's got a beautiful pool, really lush backyard, tropical landscaping. It's one of the nicest houses that's available in this neighborhood. It's not on the water. It's directly across the street from the water. It had a very small amount of water that came in during the storm that caused no damage to the house. I was immediately remediated and dried out that day with generators and fans, and had professional remediation professional remediation company evaluate it, determine it didn't need any additional work. So it's a beautiful, beautiful house. That's going to be priced at $995,000. Potentially could get you a discount if we get it before it goes on the market. That'll be right at the end of April that's listed. I have a really fabulous deal available on a condo on Tierra Verde. This is not listed anywhere. It was listed up until December for, I believe, $549,000. It's a really, really nice condo with a 40-foot deep water boat slip that's deeded to it. The condo, if it was renovated and remodeled and beautiful, it would sell somewhere in the neighborhood of $525,000 to $550,000 very quickly. But unfortunately, it's not been renovated in 20 plus years. So it needs a complete interior cosmetic remodel. But because of that, it's priced at $375,000. And so for $375,000, you can get a large, I believe it's 3 bedrooms, condo in Tierra Verde for $375,000 with a deeded deep water boat slip. It's unheard of. You can't find those anywhere else. This is a fantastic deal, a great value add opportunity for somebody. If you have any interest in taking a look at it, give me a call. It's not going to last long. If it doesn't sell off market this week, it'll get listed quickly, but I'm sure it'll sell off market because there's no reason for it not to. It's a really, really nice unit that all it needs is cosmetic work inside. If you need somebody to help you do that, I've got a contractor I can set you up with. They'll get the work done for you in a month or so. It'll be beautiful. You'll move in, and you move into huge amounts of instant equity. It's like I said, worth easily $525,000 or $550,000 with the remodeling, and you can buy it at $375,000 or best offer right now. So something to think about. I also have another property. This is listed with another realtor, so I'm not going to show you all the information on it. But I think it's one of the best deals that's available, and I'm not surprised that it hasn't sold because they're currently asking a little too much for it, but also it's got a significant amount of work needed, so people are afraid of it. It's a house that was damaged by flooding during Hurricane Helene. It was remediated, the drywall cut out, the flooring removed, ready to start being rebuilt. And then, unfortunately, Hurricane Milton dropped a tree on it. So there's 5 or 6 cracked trusses that are broken. There's a small hole in the roof that's been tarped. The ceiling's been removed throughout most of the house. The ductwork for the AC was damaged. So that was removed. So it's a massive renovation project. I've got a contractor estimate for $150,000 to $165,000. I can set you up with that contractor. He will do the work. The house appraised with a FEMA appraisal at $325,000, which means you can spend up to $162,000 on the house for renovations. So you keep it to that low end of the $150,000, $165,000 estimate. You keep it to $150,000. You can rebuild it safely, no problems. It will all be permitted. The city of St. Pete will approve it. And then you've got a house that I believe you can buy the house somewhere in the neighborhood of $325,000 right now. They're asking $400,000. If you can buy it for $325,000 and you put $150,000 into it, now you've got $475,000 into this house. That's worth $650,000 plus. One of the neighbors, 2 or 3 houses up, same size house, not as nice of a layout as this house, not as nice of a lot as this house, but with a pool. So the pool does factor in, I would say, give it about $100,000 in value. That house sold for $800,000 recently. So take that $100,000 away, you've got a $700,000 purchase price. Without the pool, this house you can get into and have it beautifully remodeled for $475,000. It's going to be worth well into the 6s at least. So great opportunity. I'd love to show it to you. I'm really thinking about trying to do it myself or with a partner. So if that's something you're interested in, let's work together. I'm going to sign off. Just one last thing I want to mention. I've got my St. Pete Home Rescue weekend coming up in April, coming up later this month. I'm going to try and do it around the third weekend of April. We are vetting some of our nominees. We've got 1 or 2 houses that we're going to try and work on. They've got some immediate needs that we can fix for them. I'm going to be sponsoring the materials. I've got some contractor friends that are going to be coming in and helping with some of the work. I'll be doing some work myself. We're going to do some landscaping. We're going to do some repairs to the house, trying to make houses that are in disrepair, try and do as much as we can in one day, do that every month consistently to help our neighbors. So we'll most likely be helping somebody here in Snell Shores. We'll announce it on Nextdoor and social media when we can. But if you got any interest in volunteering, it'll be a little bit like Flip This House, but on a much smaller scale. We're going to try and do high impact projects. For somebody that needs accessibility help, we could build a ramp. We could build an accessible shower. If somebody just needs a roof repair, if somebody needs their fence repaired, that's a big one. If you need a fence repaired, I'll sponsor that all day. If you're somebody that's in need or you know someone that is in need, give us a call. We'll take care of it for you. We'll try and help. We're going to just do whatever we can to make the neighborhood better 1 weekend a month. So anyways, that's me. I'm here. Shameless plug for my brother. He's got a company called The Planted Plank. His name's Scott Tennant, and he's at a fence building and repair company. Does really amazing work. He's an absolute perfectionist. He's obsessed with making sure your fence is perfect before he leaves. He's got very fair pricing, and he's got some openings right now. So if you have any interest, hit me up. I'll get you in touch with him, and he'll come out and take care of any fence problems that you might have. He specializes in PVC fencing, but also custom wood fences and really anything else you need. So thanks for signing in. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week.